I've been asked many times how I go about researching my historical novels that I write. For those of you who know me, I am actually halfway through writing my 9th historical novel. This one is set during the occupation, as was An Iron at War. It's about a different family though, completely different family, completely different story, but obviously set during the occupation, so between 1940 when the island was occupied by the Nazis and 1945 when it was liberated by the British forces. And there are various things that I do. So, for those who don't know me, my name is Deborah Carr and I write historical fiction in that name. I also write contemporary romance series as Georgina Troy. Let's get started. So one of the things that I do is over here we have these incredible secondhand book sales. They are to raise money for guide dogs for the blind, and we have smaller ones in the parish hall every so often, and there's a very big one this coming weekend. I should be going to it. I should be meeting 2 other author friends because it's a great place, this secondhand book sale, to find out of print books, some from many decades ago, that actually can give you, even if it's just a small snippet of information or something that sets your mind whirring and just comes up with a golden nugget of something that you can either use or then research, or it might even sort of help you untangle a plot twist, or somewhere where you've literally written yourself into a wall, but you actually find your way out of it. I find that the research can actually help do that, and sometimes these old out of print books can do that. This is a pile of just a very few of my novels written about the island's history, and I've many more. I've got more down there as well, another pile down there. I have another pile in my house. I have so many different things, but I know, or I hope, the problem is because I have so many now that I don't often find new things. I have a couple of really massive old books, really old books, and they have photos in them that have actually been very useful and helped me to then look into other things. Or even if it's, for example, when you're writing historical fiction, how people sit, how people stand, the clothes that they wear, the utensils that they use, the not the makeup necessarily, but the things they might have on their dressing table, how the houses are decorated, tiny details that you can then bring into your books that really can bring them alive. And I find that these very old, probably out of date books that you can find in these book sales, especially these larger book sales like the one I'm going to on Saturday, really can be a little gold mine. I will be there meeting 2 of my close writer friends, and we'll be looking for different things because we write in different genres, and I'm really very excited. So I'm hoping I find things in there. Another way, obviously we have the internet, so you can look a lot of things up on the internet, but there's nothing like something that is probably out of print or something that's unusual that maybe other authors who have written about the same period and about the same subject haven't actually discovered. And I love it when I find things like that I can put into my books to add a bit of depth and more layering to my story. It's always very exciting. But my biggest thing that I do is I go to, especially over here, these old book sales. And I also look for out of print books online. You've got Etsy, which is a really good one, but you've got other online stores as well. Just so you can find, and sometimes these books might literally only have one tiny detail that you think, yes, that's exactly what I needed. Or yes, that is something that I didn't even know that I needed, and it adds another dimension to your story. So that's my biggest tip, is to look at old book sales of very old books, out of print books. That is probably my top tip, because as wonderful as the internet is, you can firstly go down a rabbit hole, and probably I have wasted days looking for something and never found it, and then just had to change the book because I was never going to know whatever that was. In one case, I spent hours and hours looking for the right term of a particular door handle. I know, a door handle. In the end, the person just reached out and opened the door, turned the door handle, opened the door, something like that. But I had wasted so much writing time actually looking for what I thought I needed, and in the end I couldn't find it anywhere. So that is my top tip for you, for anyone wanting to write historical fiction. Find these old books in bookshops, old book sales, secondhand bookshops, charity bookshops. Really, really exciting. That's what I love doing. They're out of print books that probably were written, I don't know, decades before, but they can be really, really helpful. And also that the fact that they're written a long time ago means people wrote differently, spoke differently, had probably different, what is the word I'm trying to think of? Slang is the word I'm actually trying to think of. Slang, yes. So they use different slang, and so if you actually even want to find books that were written in the time period that you're writing about, that can help very much as well. It helps put you in the mindset of how people probably thought and how people spoke, and it really can help with the detail. So that's my tip for what it's worth. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd better get on. I have got a few days to carry on working on this first draft. I've written the first half of the book, and I have my editor's notes on it. So there's quite a few little changes that I have to do, and some thoughts I need to keep in my head as I work through that. And then I've got structural edits coming on Friday for a contemporary romance that I delivered quite recently, and then I can get back to this. So a lot going on, all very exciting. I love being busy. It keeps me out of mischief. I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a great week. And until next time, thank you for joining me.